A young and passionate man leaves his country, family, and friends to pursue his dream of becoming the world's best striker, but returns years later, shattered in disbelief of what he had experienced. Itoshi Sae. Itoshi Sae, currently known as Japan's best player in Blue Lock, and also member of the new generation World 11 and member of the Royal, the youth team of Real Madrid, debuted at the beginning of chapter 4 in the manga, during an interview with Nihei, a journalist who works for the newspaper Soccer Journal. When Nihei asks Sae if he thinks he will ever play in a domestic league, Sae quickly showed his aversion towards Japan and replied that he'd rather play with German college students than playing in the J-League. His dream is to win the Champions League, and Sae doesn't have intentions to win the World Cup with Japan or even represent them in general. The reason therefore is that in Sae's eyes, there's no chance he will ever be able to become the best in the world because he's Japanese. There's no forward in this country who can receive his passes, according to him. He then left and noticed a press conference from the JFA about the Blue Lock project, and it caught his attention. So he decided to extend his stay in Japan to be able to follow the Blue Lock project right in front of him. Since then, there hasn't been much attention around Sae until chapter 40, where Itoshi Rin made his debut in the manga with the revelation that Rin is Sae's brother, who is also attending Blue Lock, to the surprise of everybody, especially Igarashi. Rin's relationship to his brother is one of the most important dynamics in the story of Blue Lock, which I will get into more detail later. In chapter 109, right before the match between the U20 of Japan and Blue Lock 11, Igo revealed that Shido won't be able to play together with Rin, as Shido got no chemistry with him. Furthermore, according to Igo, there is currently no player in Blue Lock who can handle the egoist known as Ryusei Shido. A fact that even becomes more important later to reflect how strong Sae really is. Igo planned to sub in Shido as a joker, but after he decided his lineup, he received a phone call from Buatsuta, the president of the JFA, who told Igo that Sae was dissatisfied with the forwards on the Japanese U20 team and submitted a condition that must be fulfilled so he would play for the U20 against Blue Lock 11. The condition was that Sae could take any player he wanted from Blue Lock and add them to the U20 team. Sae then made his return in the same chapter and chose Blue Lock's demon Shido. He then went on to introduce himself to U20, which didn't go really well, as he told the U20 to not get on his nerves, as all of the U20 players are just glory hunters in his eyes, who don't have any desires of becoming the world's best, like Sendo. In chapter 112, the match between Blue Lock 11 and U20 began, and Sae started behind Sendo, Kitsune Sato and Cho as cam in an offensive 4-3-3 system. With possession of the ball stolen by the U20's Iron Wall, Sae, also known as Genius, was on his move for the first time. After a nice combination of passes with Cho and Kitsune Sato, Sae was attacked by Chigiri and Niko, but still managed to assist Sendo with a strong and precise cross, who failed to score because of Gagamaru's great reflexes, but the ball was still in play, and here we got to see Sae's insane reaction time, as he was already running for the loose ball and then scored the first goal of the match from an impossible angle. Just from this one goal, you could already tell that Sae is a world-class playmaker, a player who controls the flow of the team's offensive play, is often involved in passing moves, has great vision, technique, ball control and creativity. His playstyle in general can be described as very cold, punishing and calculating. He is very skilled in constantly creating ideal plays for his teammates with his dribblings and passing skills. Sae is therefore aiming to eliminate his opponents efficiently. He also got a different dribbling style, the counter dribbling, than most of the ringers and playmakers in football. While usually players who are strong in dribbling like to dribble towards their opponents actively, like for example Bachira and Yukimiya like to do, Sae is quite the opposite. He has a kind of passing dribbling style where he waits for the defender to attack him so he can punish him with a decisive move. He observes the defender's rhythm and motions before blowing past them in a counter, and Rin also mentioned once that the tempo of Sae's touches and dribbles are on a different level, as he managed to get some experience in Europe. He also sees passing to progress the ball up the field as #1 priority, but isn't afraid of changing his style to breaking through by himself, with his dribbling when needed and when it leads to increasing his options. Sae has several different passing, shooting and skill moves, which I want to go into more detail now. Let's start with the passes. Sae can do the long driven pass, the lob pass, the line drop shot, the trivela pass and the ultra fast pass. The long driven pass is a long pass over 30 meters long, which is mostly being played by center backs with playmaking abilities, a skill that is nowadays often required by many managers in modern football. The lob pass, also known as a chip, is a shot in which the ball is kicked from underneath with accuracy but with less than maximum force to launch it high into the air in order to pass it over the heads of the opponents. Trivela, I think the trivela is a passing and shooting technique that is mostly known. It's a technique in which one puts spin on the ball using the outside of their foot. Portuguese striker Quaresma is known as the master of the trivela and has scored several goals with this technique during his career. Check out some trivela compilations of him if you wanna see how the trivela is done perfectly. Ultra fast pass. Sae can pass incredibly fast, which also resembles a shot but in a much more controlled and precise way in order to pass to a place that your opponent cannot reach. Now about his dribbling techniques and skill moves. Like bachira, Sae is able to do hyper speed scissors where he performs a scissor feint at incredible speed, making it hard for the defender to follow. The double touch. Sae knocks the ball from one foot to the other before using the second foot to knock the ball past his opponent and break past. Sae performs this move faster than others in an unbelievable fast tempo, which even left Rin only little time to react. Marseille turn. Sae stops the ball with the outside of his foot, shielding the ball from his opponent before performing a roulette to turn past them. Famous French legend Zinedine Zidane made the Marseille turn his trademark move, so check out some compilations of him if you wanna see how the Marseille turn is done. The nutmeg, one of the oldest and most classic street football skill moves and Sae's signature move. He dribbles the ball through the legs of a defender effectively, getting past their defense with little effort. Sae is able to do several versions of the nutmeg, like the elastico and the Rabona nutmeg. Unlike all the other players on the pitch, Sae was already able to use meta vision, a very pristine and trained vision where he's able to constantly collect data on every player, every play they make, and their positions on the field. With the analyzed data, he's able to react to their movement instantly, and without even being noticed, Sae arrives at the most critical point of their plays effectively, shutting their attack down or bypassing their defense with ease. So Sae is by far the most talented Japanese player we've seen so far in the manga. He's the full package, and it will be interesting to see when and if we will ever get to see him play for Japan. I don't think he will play with the other Blue Lock members for now. For example, if there's going to be a U20 World Cup arc. But if there's ever going to be a Pro World Cup arc, there is no way that we won't see Sae in the team alongside the others and his brother Rin. Sae, nowadays hated by his brother, once had a great relationship with Rin. Both had the dream to become the best strikers in the world together, but everything changed once Sae went to Spain to follow his dream in the youth academy of Madrid. He must have experienced something brutal that changed his dream of becoming the world's best striker to becoming the world's best midfielder instead. We didn't get to see his past in Madrid so far, but there is still the theory that maybe Leonardo Luna, who is a member of the Big Five, might have given Sae a reality check. In the match between Rin, Bachira, Isagi, Tokimitsu and Ryu vs the World 5, Luna says to Rin, "So, you're Sae Itoshi's little brother, right? Your brother was pretty well within the organization. If you're really his younger brother, you also probably have amazing talent. I was eagerly anticipating playing against you." So we got the confirmation here that Luna and Sae know each other and might even be teammates as both play for Real Madrid. He also said to Rin, "Your lack of experience is limiting your perspective." And I feel like it's something he might have said before to Sae in the past. The lack of experience could also be a reference to Sae not being able to use meta vision when he started in Madrid and therefore limited his perspective, something that is now one of his greatest skills, the vision. Alright guys, do you like Sae and what do you think about the Leonardo Luna theory? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a nice day.